Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me on this miserable, of course, Thursday morning. Manchester United lost yesterday by 2-1 to Newcastle United, which was another very disappointing performance from Man United. And this time, we didn't get the luck. We didn't get the VAR. We didn't get the decision. We didn't get the last-minute goal. And this is exactly the vibe I was trying to bring to the fore over this last week. That you can only rely so long on luck, and you have to have an element of play, an element, a style of football, something to look at in regards to a footballing side, not just on a decision kind of thing, or a lucky break or something like that, or a penalty or a red card. Now, yesterday, everything was in our favour. Newcastle United had a red card again, and Man United were playing against 10 men. And most good teams would tactically outwit Newcastle and probably end up beating them. There's actually teams that have gone to St James's Park, guys, and have won there with 10 men. So what I would like to say is this, right? It's very important that we analyze things objectively and critically, rather than being so happy-go-lucky and overly positive about everything, just because we're getting the results by hook or by crook. We're getting the results, but many of us could see that there were cracks in the armor. And to be honest with you, and it was a very, very poor display yesterday again. And this is not something that I want to look at and the manager comes out and says, well, it was a bad performance today. We haven't performed in weeks, guys, right? This is the thing. This is not about, oh, well, we've been playing so well in this last few weeks. We've been playing so brilliantly this last few weeks. This is a one-off. No, this has been coming, guys. This has been coming. And I said it, that when we play Newcastle away, when we play Bournemouth away, when we play Chelsea away, that's when we're going to see the truth. We have been lucky, guys, in regards to our performances over the last few weeks. We've been lucky. We got the results. But you need to look at the bigger picture. Yes, you can draw games. Yes, you can lose games. But there's a way of losing, right? There's a way of losing, and there's a way you play. Back in the day, we used to lose games. Even Alex Ferguson, we used to lose games. But you know as well as I do that when we lost, we pounded their goal. We pressed relentlessly. It just didn't work out, right? Obviously, there was the odd occasion when we were slapped up. That happens in everything in football. But the majority of the time, we were on the right. We were on the press, and we were pressing, and we should have won. But at the end of the game, we look at ourselves and say, well, next time we're going to get them. It was that sort of feel. But you don't feel that with this Man United team. And against West Ham, we were lucky. We got the last-minute goal. Against Fulham, we got the last-minute goal. Against Everton, we were poor. We got a lucky counter-attack break, but we won. Great. Against Arsenal, obviously, Arsenal made a couple of mistakes, but it's Arsenal. Is a good result, of course. And against Crystal Palace, we played against 10 men. For majority of the game, and we were fortunate, courtesy of a lucky, some may say, VAR decision and a red card, when I could see no way back for Man United in that game. It's not about being doom and gloom. It's about calling things as they are. I think it's very important that Manchester United fans call things as they are, and we think critically. You can only go so far on vibes. We've been here before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We can only go so far on vibes. And there's people in here saying, give him a 4-year contract. Based on what? Exactly. Because when the chips are down, this is where you see true management and tactical nous. This is where you see it. This is when it happens, guys. When the chips are down, and when the chips were down last night, and guys, we had everything in our favor to win that game. At least not lose, and we lost the game, Now, there's a lot of obviously individual blame. It was a great strike. No goalkeeper was saving it, even though what you want to talk about. I know a lot of people want to say selling the men should have let in. That's ridiculous. Maybe the player, Tyrone Malacia, should not turn his back on the play, which he did. Absolute useless player. Absolutely useless. I mean, we got some really bad players at this football club, I'm telling you. Really bad players at this football club, and a lot of those players need to go, honestly. But I'm calling things as it is, as a rerun of the game. Obviously, I couldn't do the watch along yesterday, unfortunately. But I was looking at the highlights, was looking at the ins and outs of statistics and stuff like that, and I was very disappointed. And there are people out there who agree with me. There are people out there, ex-pros and that, who have said that Man United have been awful. They have said that Man United have been lucky the last few weeks. Look, a lot of people who are pro anti-Amram, right? Now, this goes way beyond Ruben Amram, in my opinion. This does. And a lot of people were pro anti-Amram and whatnot. You know what I mean? But what I would say is this. Amram was trying to develop a style of play. He was trying to develop a style of play. He was trying to get things going in regards to a press and a way of playing, and basically a non-counter-attacking style of play, of course. Now, Paul Scholes wrote this yesterday on Instagram. He said, Michael has definitely got something special about him because United have been crap for the last 4 games. Night. Now, there, guys. Now, a lot of people may say that's out of order. He shouldn't be talking like that. He's supposed to be an ex-professional, blah, blah, blah. Look, obviously, Paul Scholes is a Man United legend, and obviously, he wants the best for Manchester United. At least we hope he does. Anyway, guys. But when we're looking at this and we're analysing this, and we have to look at it fairly, he's right. He's absolutely right. He's correct. Man United have been awful this last few weeks. Man United have been terrible this last few weeks. And even the most positive of us could not deny that. And this result, again, it was waiting to happen. And this result was in the making over the last few weeks, guys. We're just lucky that we got the lucky break. And guys, I've said it many times, luck is part of football, but you've got to have a balance in regards to luck. You've got to have a balance. You've got to have luck plays a part, but you've got to also say, well, we play good football as well. And we do dominate games and we do create chances. Under Ruben Amorim, we were creating chances, right? And we were like in the XGs at the top. We're not doing that anymore, right? These players have gone back to default counter-attacking mode, don't know what to do. Sort of thing. And this is the problem, and this is a big issue at Manchester United. Culturally, we have a problem at this football club. And it's something that I've been speaking about for a long time. I sound like a broken record when I speak about the cultural problems at Manchester United, and when the chips are down, we rarely come up to the fore and step up to the plate, if you know what I mean, guys. Absolutely. Let me just say good morning to everyone. I hope you're doing well. Disappointed, of course, guys. Very, very disappointed. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. So far, so good, my friend. Bless you and family. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Bless you. We got Amal, bubble bursted. Actually, Amal, this is something we were saying. This is what we're talking about, this positivity. Now, you can see right now, these Ruben Amorim doubters, haters, whatever you want to call them, basically have been exposed because their actual arguments that we lost to 10 men Everton and that we've lost to 10 men Newcastle United, who just lost at home to Everton, right? So I just want to say that, and this is what we're talking about. This is how you analyze football. I could see this coming from a long way away. This team is nowhere near good enough, right? We may squeeze in the Champions League this season. Absolutely. We probably will. If we don't, it's an absolute disaster. We may get in there, guys. We get top 3, maybe. That's great. But this team, this squad, this culture, this mentality is nowhere near good enough where it needs to be. It's nowhere near where it needs to be. Absolutely. Well, Afan, hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing blessed. Sniping, I wasn't devastated until I saw Newcastle were down to that man down. Yeah, well, they were, mate. And it was a poor performance. Good morning, Kula. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Reflected the true performance. This time, exactly what Kula said, right? And I think this is correct. The result reflected the performance this time. Over the last few weeks, the result hasn't reflected the performance. We got away with it, right? And that's what we need to look at. And I know that people want to just try and jump on this hype train, to try and add narrative to their opinion. But the performance was poor. Absolutely. Sniper Man, the thing Everton beat them at the St. James's Park and we couldn't. Absolutely. There you go. I hope, though, Hierarchy looks at our next manager with a clear vision and not wages and costs. Because if next year, if we lose the Champions League qualification, we lose more. And what we save with this man. Look, at the end of the day, look, I've said it. Even if Michael Carrick gets Champions League football at the end of the season, I still want us to do it the professional way. I still want us to go through interviews. I still want us to go through the right process in hiring the new manager, because we've been here before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, I'm not totally blaming, obviously, Michael Carrick, but I don't see Michael Carrick as this tactical genius. And this is a fact, guys. He's not a tactical genius. And he's not a manager that is, going to wheel and deal his way into getting results and stuff like that. He's a manager. That's it. That plays a very simplistic style of football. Right. And this is what it is. We will survive in a very simplistic style of football with a few very simplistic players. Right. And that is what it is at the end of the day. We can get the odd results. We know what we can do. We know we can get results. We know we can beat the best teams in the world sometimes. We can. But Man United's consistency is the problem. And Man United against Newcastle, losing to Newcastle is just as predictable as anything. Guys, absolutely. Newcastle being down to 10 men just basically clarified a lot of things. It just basically doubled down on everything, for me. and don't be surprised if it happens again this season. We've got Bournemouth away, we've got Chelsea away, we've got those games away. And those are games where in recent years we haven't really done well. So let's wait and see what happens. But it is a wake-up call. It is some of us were already awake, by the way, guys. But it is a wake-up call, and it is about realism, right? Because if Ruben Amorim done that yesterday, he will be getting slaughtered for it. The way we've been playing football, he will get slaughtered for it. Because as far as I'm aware, Ruben Amorim had the third best XG before he left the football club, right? Let's forget about the other bits and bobs. We're not even creating chances now. That's the problem with Man United. We're not even doing the basics now. We're going back to default settings, right? And this is exactly what I'm talking about, having an idea about what real football is. It's not just about getting the ball, putting the ball in the back of the net. It's not just about that. It's about creating a style, creating a philosophy for the football club, which we were trying to do. Now we're just like back at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer mode, unfortunately. Absolutely. Big up, Sniper. At least the round went on till March. Yeah. Good morning, Sal. We missed you for the watch along, but it's good to see you're well. Thank you so much, Alison. Thank you so much, you legend. Thank you. Really appreciate you. Thanks for joining me. Absolutely. This platform called it. Thank you, Irfan. We did, all of us. We have absolutely no identity, nor a game plan. How taught Carrick a tactical lesson. Absolutely. It has been coming. This game also proved the new manager theory, right? Ruben Amorim can now rest RIP. Absolutely. This theory, this manager bounce, I don't understand how people can't really see the woods, differentiate between the woods and the trees in regards to performances and new manager bounces and that. There was nothing there from that game yesterday that I looked at and I thought, wow, that was good, or that was good, And I've been like that for the last few weeks. Now, the last few weeks, my biggest bone with the team has been the keeping the ball, doing the simple things right, and pressing, being relentless. We seem to sit back, we let teams into the game. But the positive was they showed character, right? They showed character at the end. They managed to get the job done, which is a good quality to have as well, right? They managed to get the job done. Unfortunately, once that goes, you have got nothing to hold on to. Like, it's not like we hit the post and we relentlessly bombarded Newcastle's goal. And, and we've done that for many, many weeks. We haven't done that for many, many weeks, guys. And, this is the difference. And this is what I'm saying, Big up, Gregory. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope everything... big up. RIP, the ghost who's still haunting the Manu fans. Look, this is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Me and Irfan said this a few days ago about Kobbie Mainoo. There are people talking from the rooftops that Kobbie Mainoo's Clarence Seedorf, right? And he has not played well for weeks. And he's not the only one. We're not saying he's the only one. But he's a highlighted player that every single person under Ruben Amorim uses a stick to beat Ruben Amorim with. And Kobbie Mainoo looks very, very average for me. I know he's 20. I know that. But you're playing for Man United, for crying out loud, at the end of the day. He looks very, very average, as do a lot of those players. We got a lot of very average, poor players at this football club. Now, I'm not saying that Kobbie Mainoo doesn't have talent, but your talent only takes you so far. You have to work at it. You have to practice. You have to relentlessly improve your craft. Because the greatest of footballers did it in the past. Cantona, Beckham, Scholes, they all did it, didn't they? At the end of the day. I just hope that... Kobbie Mainoo doesn't have this thing in his mind where he feels that he's made it, and he's already there, because he is not. He's far from it. And, you can't pull in stinkers like that. And he has been pulling stinker after stinker, guys. He has, and I think this needs to be called out. It's exactly what we've been talking about for the last few weeks. Like on Stretford Post, on this channel, it's rare that we call out mythical things. We don't call out things just to be nasty. We don't call out things to have an agenda. We don't do that. We call out things which are factual, right? This is what this channel is about. It's about facts, right? And, those of us who are fair and called the game right knew that this kind of football will not take us far. You will get results. You'll get that new manager bounce. But the long-term vision will not get you far. We might even qualify for the Champions League. Great. But this kind of football will not get you anywhere. It won't. Next season, we'll get it found out. We'll get exposed. Just like we were yesterday. Now, against Crystal Palace, of course, the game yesterday against Crystal Palace, and also against, yesterday, Newcastle. The 10 men issue, again, they had 10 men and they were comfortable. Why were they comfortable? When I see that Newcastle United went down to 10 men, I expect to see 3-1 or 4-1 easy, because that's what happened with every other football team, apart from ours, obviously. We needed to go relentlessly for the game, and go, absolutely go for it. There's a lack of tactics, there's a lack of idea, there's a lack of nous, of course. Kula, Malasia coming on after Carrick decided to start short again when he was talking about retiring. Just showed the state of United squad depth. Dalla on for and then Malasia on for Mazraoui is dead. Mazraoui, yeah, hopefully Mazraoui's in. Okay, he got injured, didn't he? Guys, horrible substitutes, absolutely horrible. Won't get called out though, will it? Absolutely. Gary, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Gary McRae, hope you're blessed. It's a wonder you don't want Usula this morning. It's been linked with every other Newcastle player. Funny, very funny, Gary. Yeah, we need far more than him, Big up, Sal, big up, Coco. We were tested and found lacking yesterday. The important thing is where we go from here. The important thing is you understand that we've been lacking for weeks, right? And we've been lucky. That's what it is. And that's the important thing. And Carrick has run on luck and VAR. That's what's happened to Man United, right? We just got, as Kula said earlier in the stream, right? Our performance got what it deserved this time. We didn't get VAR to help us and bail us out this time. You can't keep relying on last minute goals and VAR decisions to bail you out, And that's what exactly happened. Alex, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Middlesbrough fan told me, prepare for Carrick boring football. And now we are seeing his slow, boring football, side to side, crap football. He's not the manager for Manchester United for me. I've said it. Right there, I say it. Right. He's a manager that's going to get you to a level. He'd probably get us to the Champions League. And fair enough. Right now, what I've seen, and I'm not saying that after yesterday's game, I've been thinking this for a while. Right now, what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 games is that Man United are not good. We're not even playing as good as Ruben Amorim. Actually, he's making Ruben Amorim look good in regards to the performances. Results are one thing, and I know that results are the most important thing, but you also need to have a long-term vision and a long-term plan, which we were trying to have, but people are not patient to see it through. So what I would say is that now people are looking at Michael Carrick and thinking, yeah, well, Michael Carrick is a simplistic, average manager. Right. And it's because he's a Man United legend that he manages Man United. And Middlesbrough fans are absolutely correct. I'm not saying I'm going to throw the book at him and I'm going to write him off right now. I'm going to wait until the end of the season and I'm going to reevaluate everything, analyze everything. And we have to. And we have to look at every single scenario. We have to look at every single angle. Of course we do. Because, guys, this is the future of Man United. If we go and give Michael Carrick, like some prats on this channel were saying the other day, like give him a 3-year contract, give him a 4-year contract, we're going to be stuck and end up paying him off in a year's time, and spend a lot of money. And here we go again, the same old issues, deja vu, you know what I mean? Amal, I don't know why people are so tunnel visioned. We have been here before. They were tunnel visioned not to see what Amorim is doing, where King, being a teammate, can see it. Yeah, absolutely, Amal. Only a few of us who actually analysed football deeply understood what Amorim was trying to do and looking at the context of it. Unfortunately, you reap what you sow in football. Is what they say, isn't it? You reap what you sow and you get what you deserve. Now, a lot of these fans, believe that Michael Carrick is some sort of messiah, some sort of tactical genius. All right. Okay. There are managers that will go to Middlesbrough and get Middlesbrough promoted, right? Not get sacked, right? So let me just tell you this. Sam Allardyce will get Middlesbrough promoted, for example. Yeah. So guys, let's just be real here. Let's just be real. Let's just be understanding that we look at things for every point of view. Guys, I'm going to be back. All right. See you in a bit. All right. Just bear me 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, and we have to look at things like that, obviously, from the point of view of that, of course, absolutely. I agree, Sal, it was coming, absolutely, and it has happened. Sniper Man, Sal, do you think this type of loss was avoidable, like the remainder of the season, or was it inevitable? It was inevitable the way we're playing, Sniper Man. The way we were playing, it was always going to be inevitable. It was always going to be inevitable. This was always going to happen, because we're not playing good football. And when you don't promote a brand of football, like a style even, if you just have a counter-attacking football, you get found out eventually. I've been saying it for ages about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was playing a counter-attacking football, it was not sustainable, and it was proven not sustainable. Now, the key is here, right, is that now we suffered our first real adversity. We suffered our first real defeat, right? This is our first defeat, right? Now we suffered that, okay? Let's see where we go from here. Let's see if we can bounce back. Let's see how good we really are. You know what I mean? Let's see. Now we could go down the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer route, like what happened before, and then we ended up, not losing one game, and then everything, drifting, south once we lost one game. So hopefully it is. Somehow I saw you also over there with the rumors Ronaldo is trying to go to Madrid to escape. I don't know, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, now we wait for Carrick's response. We won't judge him yet. The next game will be interesting. Yeah, but what we will say is that I look at these games, and even though we won the few games before, I look at those games, and I would say that. You have to look at them like we lost the game. Look at them like that. Look at them like we've lost the game. I would say that. You look at the way we play, like the brand of football, how lucky we were, and on another day, you know what I mean? Like you can rely on last minute goals and VAR decisions. It's fine, but you're not going to get far. You may get a bounce, and things may go well for you with a bounce, but next season is when we're going to differentiate, and we're going to obviously separate the good from the bad, isn't it? Yep, Sal, there was a reason Carrick was sat by Middlesbrough, even though they put them to 4th to 20, even though he put them 4th to 21st. And you know what? That's exactly right. Such talented team, and we can't beat 10 men. Second game lose against 10 men. Yeah, and that shows you, and what that does is prove to you. It proves to you it wasn't just Ruben Amorim, was it? Lost 10 men to Everton. We lost 10 men to Newcastle. It's a mentality of the players. Absolutely. Jaffa, hi Sal. It was meant to happen. We were lucky in the past 4 games. Absolutely. Luck ran out. And so did performance and hard work. Carrick was stunned to see the display from these so-called professionals. Now, I know that Carrick might not be the guy, but I'm gonna back Carrick a little bit here, okay? The mentality of this football club needs to change. The whole culture of this football club needs to change. The ambition of this football club needs to change. We need to drill into those players, which obviously the previous manager was trying to do. We need to drill into these players that win at all cost. Win, win, win. Go for the win. And now I would take it back to Alex Ferguson, what Alex Ferguson used to do against 10 men. He would relentlessly bombard that Newcastle United net. He would do that. He would go, press. That is what he would do. He would bombard that net. He would bombard that goal. Absolutely. Big up, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. How you feeling, Mark? How's everything where you are? Being fuming, watching that portal round. Absolutely. How's everything where you are, Mark? How you feeling? Even Philip Lewis, manager of Flamengo, got sacked after winning many trophies with the club and defeating. Yeah, look, this is life, isn't it? Shooting on target would have resulted in 4 goals. Rose there too many times. Absolutely. Good morning, Sal. Good morning, Donin. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Amal, I heard that we were looking into Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and Ameka from Dortmund. City are also looking into those players. It's a step in the right direction. I still think that Guimaraes is a question mark. He's 28, 29 years old. I would much prefer Anderson, a Stiller, these kind of players. Tonali's good. Amadou Onana's not bad. But Guimaraes wouldn't be a bad option. Of course, all of these are better than what we have. And when we look at the midfield, but there is a far, far deeper problem as well at Man United. I think there is a mental problem at Man United. And I think that You know, even when you play against 10 men, you should be bombarding that goal, creating chance after chance, you know? Absolutely. Ephraim. So it amazes me why we do not cross the ball to Sesko. I don't know, mate. I don't know why we don't cross. I really don't. We don't cross enough. This is something that we haven't done for a couple of years now, a few years actually. When we got a great striker in the box, even when we had Cavani and we had Ibrahimovic, we weren't crossing the ball into the box nowhere near enough as we should have. You know, now we know as evident from the game against Crystal Palace at the weekend that you cross the ball into the box, Sesko's more or less going to get in the end of it and he's going to score. Why didn't we do that yesterday? We should have been getting that ball on the wing, overlapping runs, getting that ball into the box. We weren't doing that. And it's something that we've been pointing out for a long time now and stuff like that, you know? Fullback, zero initiative, produce nothing. Midfield, run ragged, out of depth. Bruno put in on a play 5 times and forward switched off and selfish. There you go. Guys, reality is Carrick will probably get us in the Champions League. No, I said, Boxer, listen, you clown. Listen, you clown. I said we get 2nd or 3rd, mate, right? So calm your tits, mate. Calm your tits. And I also, listen, mate, you don't know nothing. I called that when we were 5th, mate, all right? And now we're 2nd, 3rd, Boxer, you know? And I said this team should get 2nd because this league is crap. It has nothing to do with Michael Carrick, right? It has nothing to do with Michael Carrick, right? Nothing to do with Michael Carrick. It's about the league being so shit. If we get 2nd place, it's to do with how crap the league is. Nothing to do with Michael Carrick. I've doubted Michael Carrick every single time, right? You know, you're talking about calm, mate. You've never achieved nothing in your life, Boxer. You've never done anything in your life. You're sitting there on my stream. You know, what are you doing, mate? What is your life about? You know, you're coming on here trying to piss people off, trying to make false things up because you think it makes you feel better because your life's so sorry and sad. You know, mate, listen, you come on my chat, I respond to you because your probably father doesn't even respond to you. So what I'm going to say is this, right? One more time, you're getting blocked, mate. I don't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right? I'm on the position right now. I don't care what you are. You know what I mean? You could duck out, all I care. You know what I mean? I don't really care. This is Stretford Post. I've got a great community. Ones with knowledge who can spell and actually put spaces between their words and have an IQ. You know what I mean? Like that. Do you know what I mean? So duck out, prat. Anyway, more than Sal, big up. I don't think Carrick is us too soft for the players. I agree with that to an extent. Absolutely. The card happy ref can't see the 7-foot player elbow short in the face twice. Sure should have made a meal of it. Absolutely. Guys. Absolutely. Call me delusional, but I think this was avoidable. Yes, absolutely. I was not confident I win in net. Neither was I, mate. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. All great streaks come to an end. Absolutely. Especially when they're based on vibes, you know, at the end of the day. We don't need world-class players in every position, but we need a fundamental desire to want it. Absolutely, Mark. Spot on. Absolutely. Alex, we can't need to deepen our bench. We need to deepen our bench because we need to keep it use the same players and tiring them out and putting unneeded pressure on them. Not to say putting that badge on isn't pressure enough. Exactly. Exactly, mate. Press a like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Bless up, my friend. Bless up. Vishwa, Sal, I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much, Vishwa. It's nice to see there's nice people in the chat. So lots of idiots in the chat who don't know nothing about football, know nothing about tactics or anything like that. But you know what I mean, guys. Barry, big up, Barry. Hope you're doing well. To be honest, it's the best time to lose. We are still 3rd. Let's see how we react. That's the key. That's the key thing, Barry, isn't it? Because we can do 2 things here. We could fluctuate. We could just disappear into the abyss like we did on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you remember, or we could bounce back. And that's the thing. And let's hope the latter. You know, let's hope the latter, and let's hope we do bounce back, and let's hope we do get back to the levels that we should be. Of course, you know. But I don't trust a lot of these players, Barry. I would say that I don't trust a lot of these players. I don't trust the culture at this football club. I don't trust the mentality at this football club. There's so many things wrong with this football club. Absolutely. Samuel, Joshua Xerxes, Tyrant Malacia should be playing in the Dutch league if they're lucky. Absolutely useless players, man. I've been saying it for a long time. If they're lucky, really, really bad players. Really bad, in my opinion. Yeah, really, really bad. I can't believe we still got players like Malacia and Luke Shaw and all that playing for us, you know. Guys, absolutely. Man United will come in the top 3. It's like I predicted, guys. You know, Man United will come in the top 3. And as I predicted, by the way, and we're not going to come 5th, as some waste man predict on here. But the problem is that we are not sustainable the way we're playing football. We're working on a new manager bounce, and this league is very poor and nobody's performing. And this is exactly what it is at the end of the day. 1 game a week, and we looked absolutely gassed. Do you actually see us beating Villa? Probably not, mate. We'll have to wait and see. I'm thinking the next game will tell us a lot. Yeah. I forgot the team we lost to, and I forgot what the year was, but we lost to this one team and then end up winning the rest of our games. I don't know, mate. Those were the good old days, my friend. Ephraim, Sal, these players do not need a rest. Carrick need to train them. That is the last thing we need. Absolutely, absolutely. You see, the great thing about it, guys, is because people who can sit here 4 weeks ago when we were 4th or 5th and say that Man United had been a top 4, right, which I did consistently. And I said that unlucky last night, thanks, mate, we were crap, and predict that we're going to get in the top 4. The highest we could finish is 2nd. That's what I said. The highest we could finish is 2nd. And that is a possibility, which factually, it's still a possibility. But I said 2nd or 3rd would be fine. And this is where cherry-picking idiots come into the stream, guys, at the end of the day. So I said 3rd would be fine. 2nd or 3rd would be great. And we are 3rd. And many people, when I said we're going to come 3rd, were saying how delusional I was when we were saying we're going to come 3rd. Now, lo and behold, we're 3rd. 3 points clear of 3rd, right? You're not going to win every game. But do I think it's because of Carrick? Or do I think it's because these players switch it on when they can? It's because these players switch it on when they can. That's exactly what it is, right? They play when they want to play. That's what it is. And, and I know what these players are all about. They're the sort of players who go away to Arsenal, go away to City, go away to Liverpool and win. But then against the Newcastles, against the Tottenhams, against the Bournemouths and the Wolves and this and that, we don't, The defeat is a good result. We can see the mentality and response of the team. Yeah, you can take it, Vishwa. You can take the defeat as a positive. I like to think that way as well. Because obviously we didn't want to lose, but now we have lost. Now's the time to see the character of these players and see where we are with these players. Absolutely. Hello, guys. Big up, MEC. Big up yourself. Venetia, how you doing? Carrick had every fault last night, as I've always criticised him for the last few weeks, Venetia, if you've been watching Stretford Post. He had every fault last night, especially when we went down to 10 men. Mark, Sal, we have a 3-week break coming up. The players not to be in the Bahamas. They need to generally switch on. This is the business end of the season. And a slip up here and there. Guys, look, the thing is, Mark, it's sometimes I know football's winning, it's a winning game, it's 3 points and stuff like that. But when you look at the games we played and the results we got, you've really got to analyze it, like in a way, like put yourself away from the emotion. And if you're a rival fan and watch that, do you know what I mean? You can't look at that performance and the performances of the last few weeks and say, yes, right? But it's no surprise to me we get results because we're relying on moments and stuff like that. And this is unsustainable, Would you say this is the kind of player power or just an inability of the ownership group to actually do anything? There's loads of, it's multi-layered, Alex, I would say. There is player power. There is a lack of quality in the squad. There's a lack of identity in the team. There's a lack of desire and belief. I don't believe these players feel like they can go to the highest level of their peak of their powers. And one thing I would say about that is that this is evident in regards to when we get an opportunity, like we had last night, we have another opportunity to go clear. We don't really take the opportunity. I was surprised at the weekend we took that opportunity, believe me, and we got lucky with the VAR. But generally, we don't take the opportunity. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, absolutely. Sal, do you think Carrick is too soft? Yes, I do, Ephraim. I think Carrick is too soft to be Manchester United manager. I do. He's a nice guy. I have heard there's stories about him being a ruthless guy. He has got a ruthless streak about him. He's got this ruthless side. But I'm yet to see that, my friend. And I would actually revisit that at the end of the season and see where we are in regards to that. Now, look, you lose games, football, you lose games. You can't win every single game. You can't. You lose, you win. At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. I don't know. But the key of a good team, a key of a good manager is to bounce back. In regards to what, Mark? How do you see this developing? In regards to what? There's lots of things going on at the moment, Mark, in a footballing sense or in a real life sense. Let me know, mate. Benny, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. The football is drab and has been for weeks. Absolutely. We have been lucky with some results last few weeks. And for me, it's just reinforced my belief that Carrick isn't the man to bring United back to where it should be. I agree with Benny at this moment in time. At the way I'm thinking at the moment, I agree with Benny. I agree that Benny's absolutely right. I agree, mate. You know what I mean? I agree that it hasn't impressed me. No, it hasn't made me go, oh, this is some good stuff. I'm right on the edge of my seat here. This is brilliant. It really hasn't impressed me. I'll be honest, you know. Lewis Hall should replace Luke Shaw at Manchester United and Bruno Gomes Sancho tonight with Grace Spamiel. Good point. I've said it about Lewis Hall. Brilliant player. Absolute brilliant player. 10 times better than Luke Shaw, you know. Marcus, morning, Sal, my brother. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you for you out there. The Knights are out for Carrick. Surprise. That's why I said end of the season we review. But the safety of our family is more important, bro. Thank you, Marcus. Big up yourself. Thank you, mate. Let's just wait and see, mate. Let's just wait and see. Hopefully everything settles down, man. I really do hope so. Because, yeah, look, I had to just go off the stream because obviously lots of things are going on and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And everything. But there you go. Yeah, it is. Well, it is. But yeah, look, nice to see the nice people out there. Nice to see that. It's very nice. You know what I mean? Not some people with a Chevrolet logo trying to talk smack on my channel when I actually was right, what I said. Absolutely. The problem is our fullbacks. They go forward just to pass back, but back to Maguire and to Euro. They don't cross. You know, my MUCI TV, I agree with you, mate. Man United definitely need Dorgu back, 100%. Dorgu's the only one who, in my view, was going forward, who was bombing forward, who's getting shots in, getting crosses in. We do need that outlet. We haven't had that outlet for a while, but we need the midfield as well. The midfield is so slow. We're not athletic enough in the midfield, and we need power and pace in there. Absolutely. Viz, morning, Sal. Now we lost the game. Let's see if the players step up. I don't trust these players, Viz. I'll be honest with you. I don't trust these players. It's not always about the manager. It is about the players as well. I really don't trust these players. I really don't. And I feel like they're just going to be the same. It's just going to be here in a guys. I just feel like if Michael Carrick gets a job, we're going to be here in a year's time. I just got this feeling, you know. Not one Newcastle player will go to Man United this summer. Gary McRae. I'll remember that, mate. You're on the stream and you're live in colour. You think that when Newcastle don't qualify for the Champions League, and we do. Sal, we miss Martinez, who can break the line pass. I agree, mate. Absolutely. Big up, SLD. How you doing? Thank you so much for your legend. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. If we don't retain Michael Carrick as the manager, coach, or whatever you want to call his position, who would you replace him with? There's only one guy I want. It's Luis Enrique. That's the only guy I want at this football club. I think Luis Enrique is the right guy. He's a balance of man management and discipline. I think he's really good. I think he plays a good brand of football, and he's a winner. And I think that I can't look any further than him. Marcus, the team played crap, and maybe the bounce was just a remnant of Amram fitness and regime. Actually, each game goes by, the energy looks lower and lower. And yes, our midfield, yeah, we're getting worse and worse. We're not getting better and better. You know what I mean? We're getting worse and worse. It's not getting better. You know, results have been kind on us, I would say. Like Kula said earlier in the stream, this time we got what we deserved, not what the performance deserved. Absolutely. I kind of agree with FM that we need someone like Leach. Of course we do. Leach is a world-class player. Leach is one of the best defenders in the world. We're going to miss him. But there was no excuse to play like that against 10 men yesterday. There was no excuse. It's not just about missing players. Newcastle, do you know how many players Newcastle were missing yesterday? Should we go through the list of players Newcastle were missing yesterday? We can't use that as an excuse. That's just an excuse. Yeah, we need Leach. Of course we do. He's a good player. But Newcastle are missing a number of their best players as well. You know? We should have a ball on Ahmad for Mbeumo. Cunha looked like the only one looking players dribbling. I don't know what's going on with Mbeumo, but he does have these patches, doesn't he, where he just go missing in games and stuff. And he goes on a patch where he just doesn't look good. But I won't be too harsh. Getting Dorgu back will give us more drive and intensity. Same reason. Cunha at number 8. Absolutely. Donin, Cunha is not a number 8. I would say that again, Donin. He's never played a number 8. He's not a number 8. We do not want to go to the Bruno Fernandes situation. Absolutely. There's no Cunha number 8. He's not playing number 8. Look at his history. He don't want to play number 8. He's not a number 8. He doesn't have the tactical awareness to play number 8. All right, and that's it. We need a new number 8 if Mainoo doesn't step up. Let's say, Mark, let's say we get top 5 or 6. Do you see us getting the players we need? So many players are leaving and the squad is super thin. I don't think we get all the players we need. No. If we got to 5 or 6, that's going to be the convenient excuse for them. That's going to be the excuse for them that they're going to use, isn't it? Ineos. Hoping Wrexham can knock Chelsea out of the FA Cup and Wolverhampton Wanderers not Liverpool at the FA Cup. We hope so, mate. We can hope on the small blessings. That's what we could do, innit? We can hope on the small blessings and we hope that everything goes well at the end of the day. That's all we can hope for, guys. Yeah. Guys, you know what? I come on this channel, I could sit here in my comfort zone and just sit down and just, not think about this great community. And I think this is a great community, but life goes on and I will carry on doing the streams and stuff like that. And I will carry on doing as many streams as I possibly can until everything gets better, but guys, if there are some idiots on this channel that if don't appreciate it, at the end of the day, and they're idiots. And it's very important that you appreciate things in life, and that's what I would say. And that's what I would say about everything in general, because other channels won't give them the time of the day. And this is what it's all about, guys, No one sends super chats. No one sends things. No one sends that. I read out people's messages. I don't rely on super chats and I don't rely on things like that. They help. They're nice. I don't rely on that. And this is the thing about it. At the end of the day, I don't have to read everyone's comment out. Especially in the situation that I'm in right now. Right. So if any idiots come on this channel try and piss me off, they will never be seen again on this channel, especially these days at the end of the day, because I've been watching football 40 years. I've been watching Man United 40 years. I've been over 500 games. I've done a lot watching Man United. I actually know some players, right? At the end of the day, right? And this is what it's for me. It's about respect, right? It's about having appreciation, having respect. You know what I mean? So if you come on this channel and you want to try and downplay and everything and act like a smart ass, it will be over for you. Over, at the end of the day. And that's what I would say about that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Big up, Marcus. Alex. We shouldn't have put Malacia. I don't know. We retained him either. I thought we had either loaned him or got rid of him, but I was wrong. He still has. Sal, you're a top bloke. We really appreciate it. I know you do, Mark. I know. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm just talking about the people who I'm talking about, people in the stream and stuff like that, And I'm talking about that. You know what I mean? People coming there just to some irritates. I appreciate Sal. Keep out. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Big up yourself. We are lack of quality for the squad depth, and for some unknown reason, the limited squad we are and on and off the pit form at the same time. Absolutely. We have depth. It's true, Vishwa. We do have a lack of depth, and other than our first team isn't even like the best. We got a lot of very average players, in my opinion, still, even in our first team. And there are probably 3 or 4 players that shouldn't be playing for Man United again. But we still have them playing in playing in the first team, and as you know, it just takes one player to upset the apple cart, and everything. Thank you so much, Don, in legend. Thank you, mate. Casemiro coming off was a mistake, and every time he comes off, Ben, we decline, don't we? Everything when we are relying on a 33-year-old, we were wide open before they came off, but after that we had a big hole in the midfield. Absolutely, we did. Absolutely, we had a massive hole, and this is the problem. Man United's midfield is a massive problem. Once Carrick, we can't keep relying on Casemiro to play 60 games a season, 50 games of the season. And that's what we're doing. We're playing him every game. I know we're playing 1 game a week, but this just shows you, doubles down on the fact that how much we need another midfielder in there. Do you know what I mean? Samuel, should Manchester United look at Michael Coyote from Brett? Yes, they should, Samuel. I've been speaking about him this week. Yes, they should. Very good player, very good right back, strong, powerful, good age. Yeah, those are the players Man United should be looking at. Those are the players that Man United should be bringing in. Premier League experience as well. Should be looking at these type of players. Absolutely. 100% we should be looking at these type of players. You know what I mean? I would say that 100%. Coyote, I'm a big fan of his. One thing is very damning about Coyote and players like that, it's something that I mentioned a few times, is that where do Brentford find these players? And they get them at a good price and they find them and they become really good Premier League players. Now, obviously, I do understand that when they have with teams like Brentford, they can afford to bring a player in and they can afford to be patient with them and they can afford to lose a few games and he nurtures himself into the league. I understand that. But since the beginning, players like Coyote have been really good, and I want to know, they're scouting players, they're finding good players. Why are we not finding these good players? You know what I mean? Why are we not finding these bargains, so to speak? The only people we find is bloody, Tyro Malacia and players like that. You know what I mean? What a waste. I know he's only 15 million, but my goodness me, an awful player. But, what can we say about that? Absolutely. But very good player is Coyote, and it's a position that we need. My biggest worry about Man United in the summer is that we're not going to get all the positions that we need, even if we get in the Champions League, considering that we've got the World Cup, considering that, also we may have the managerial situation pending. Of course, if Carrick doesn't get the job, how long are we going to take to find another manager? And that's what it is at the end of the day. Sal, it was better to change Mazraoui with Heaven. Mazraoui, I'm not sure what the extent of Mazraoui's injury is. I know that he came off injured. Haven't really checked up on it, guys. So I'm not too sure about it at the end of the day. Sal, what's happening with Maguire and his 15 minutes suspended sentence? If he goes back to Greece, will he be back? Will he be locked up? No, it's a suspended sentence. I don't think he'll be locked up. It depends on the. Maguire obviously he's got suspended sentence, guys. 15 months, isn't it? Yeah. But what I would say is that it depends on the actual FA, PGMO, what they do, if they play him, if he's allowed to play, if he's got criminal record pending, is he allowed to play? Is he allowed to play in Europe? That's another thing. That's something that we don't talk about at the end of the day. My thing with Coyote is his ceiling. I don't want to compare him to Bizaka, but he looked the real deal, but never truly got better, except I would say this, Marcus, about a lot of players who come to Man United. I mean, we could look at the likes of Cunha, Mbeumo. Has Mbeumo improved? Has Cunha improved? Has Sesko improved? And we look at that, and you look at Mbeumo last season, and not only last season, over various seasons. The guy scored 20 goals last season. It was every single time we played against Brentford, Mbeumo looked absolutely phenomenal. He was an absolute beast. And I used to hate playing against Mbeumo. Is it a Man United thing? No matter who comes into the football club, is it a Man United thing? Is it the Man United culture? Is it the Man United mentality, at the club that makes these players like that, Yeah. I mean, I was one of those guys. I mean, I remember going to Man United against Crystal Palace back in 2018, and it was 0-0. And I remember Wan-Bissaka was playing in that game. And I remember thinking that guy is really good. Like, he's an absolute beast. But the thing with Wan-Bissaka was a low block defender. This is something we didn't realize. He's a low block defender. So he is definitely fit. He fits a Crystal Palace or a West Ham more than he would fit a Man United, for example. So that was what Wan-Bissaka was, at the end of the day, and that's what he was. And I thought I wanted him at the time. I thought he was a really good player. I thought he would have developed. Unfortunately, as an attacking outlet, he wasn't good. And Man United generally through history have a history of having good attacking fullbacks. In recent history, we don't. And it's a surprise to me when I see overlapping runs. I don't even see that now, Big Australian legend Carrick was exposed yesterday, and we've been saying that for the past 4 performances weren't good, and it's not sustainable. And I like to know where Slices of Sid is, and all these people who are saying give him a 4-year contract, who were trying to banter me yesterday, the other day, and say that, look who's scared now, at the end of the day. So, what I like to do is speak the truth. That's what I want. Speak the truth. It is unfair to lie. At the end of the day, it's unfair to lie. You can give your predictions, you can give your theories, but when you see what you see, you speak it for what you see. And that's what I always do. And I think many of us did that. There are many of us were getting a little bit carried away, which is wrong. We should not be getting carried away. Absolutely. It's too soon to be getting carried away, guys. You know what I mean? In my opinion. Absolutely. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, of course, guys. We'll have to wait and see what happens. At the end of the season, and we reevaluate the season. We analyze the season statistically with everything, performances game by game. That's what I would do, game by game, and analyze things properly and do it the professional way and interview people. Interview people, and that's what I would do. As I said, there's only a handful, not even a handful. I would say a couple of managers that I would get him instead, no matter what Michael Carrick does. I mean, Luis Enrique for me, definitely. He's one that I would say, get him instead. Absolutely. Guys, that's what I would do. But yeah, Marcus, I'm convinced more than ever we need a coach that's a culture builder on Enrique, Pep, etc., etc. Love Carrick, but his style of soccer is not sustainable. I agree, Marcus, and I agree with you 100%. As much as we love Michael Carrick, there's no sentiments involved in this. You know what I mean? There was no sentiments with Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, right? It's exactly that. That's how we need to act. There's no sentiments, and Xabi Alonso actually won things. He stopped the monopoly of Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga. He won the Bundesliga with Leverkusen. So, this is what we're talking about. We got to call things what's best for the football club, not best on emotional feelings and nostalgia and things like that, because that's where you come unstuck. And that's where we are stuck as a football club, because we do have a very nostalgic fan base. We have a great history, of course, Exactly, Marcus. And there's many. I could look at Roberto Di Matteo, came into Chelsea, won a Champions League, won an FA Cup, Chelsea legend, done everything you could possibly wish. Removed by Roman Abramovich. Removed. Not good enough. Gone. And that's what we're talking about. It's not about sentiments. It's about looking at the bigger picture. The fact that you can win a Champions League in Germany against Bayern Munich, the fact that you could do that, right? And, just shows you how misleading a new manager bounce is, an interim manager bounce is. That is just proof of how misleading it could be, For me, a football team should be a reflection of the manager's personality. Carrick comes across as very laid back, maybe too laid back. We need someone whose personality that expects football played the right way. Enrique for me too, and Benny. Now, if I'm wrong about Enrique, then I hold my hands up. But I can't see anyone in Europe at the moment that I look at and think is like Enrique. I look at Enrique and I think he's just got the perfect balance. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. That being said, your next live is Breaking Dawn tomorrow, Sal, or have a midday show. Just keep your notifications on. I know your notifications don't work, Marcus, but just keep an eye out on the YouTube channel, and I will write anything if I go live. I am on Hussam's channel later on, guys. 1:30 p.m. UK. All right, 1:30 p.m. UK. I'm on Hussam's channel. So don't forget, guys, to join me on that one, right? Don't forget to join me on Sam's channel. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Hold on, I'm just going to give you this, guys. I'm going to give you this, if you don't mind. So let me just put this on. I've got to keep it moving, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. I have to keep this moving, So what I would say is that not there. Never mind. A second. There you go, guys. So I will be on his channel. So yeah, big up everyone. Sal, the game wasn't the same without your live stream. Thank you, Mark. I know, mate. But I'll be back, mate. How's everything going with you, Mark? You're in the same area as me, so you let me know how you're feeling. Is everything okay? And if you need anything, let me know. Of course, I'll be there. Thank you, Marcus. Really appreciate you. You're absolutely legends, man. Really appreciate you all. Absolute diamonds. Yeah. Look. Hopefully, guys, when this all settles down, hopefully, God willing, this all settles down and stuff like that, and everything goes back to normal, I will be doing tenfold of streams and getting more content out there and doing new things as well, guys. There will be a lot more content out there. At the moment, just keeping it up. Obviously, we're always on edge. Mark will know we're always on edge. What's happening at the moment, the interceptions and things like that. And obviously, it's very loud and very intimidating and stuff like that, of course. And obviously, you have to be careful for debris and things like that, of course. So obviously, I'm always on caution. I'm always on the lookout and stuff like that. So obviously, we have to be careful, and obviously elevations and stuff like that. But Yeah, absolutely. Nikki, can't believe we lost against 10 men. Absolutely. I know, mate. Nikki, again. Mark, Sal, I'm all blessed, man. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you. Just hold up. Thank you so much, Mark. How are things anyway? They're all blessed then, yeah, with you. Any plans? What's your plans for the coming days, Mark? Any plans? Are you planning on leaving, or are you gonna try and get yourself somewhere else or something like that? It's very difficult at the moment, by the way. People don't understand what it's like over here at the moment. They really don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is great. It isn't great. But we live day by day, and we're grateful for everything. As they say over here, alhamdulillah. That's what you say, alhamdulillah. I always say that. It's one of the most beautiful words in the world. You know what I mean? And you say that, absolutely. Dan, morning show, morning great prediction show. Hope to see more. Dan, thank you so much. Sorry about the abrupt finish. We had some interceptions at the end of the show, so I had to go pretty quickly. The one thing about it is that in the future, God willing, if everything being well, in the future, I can look back on those streams and you know what, and say, yeah, that time that was going on and and that was going on. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm going to try and bring some more content, definitely, but it's not as easy. You know what I mean, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I had a minor operation as well, guys. I had a minor operation, and I was in the operating theatre and things like that. And these things were going off as far as I was in the hospital. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's been an absolute craze. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Jamie, some fans still live in a Sir Alex Ferguson area, unfortunately. But it is a good memory to have. Jamie, welcome back, Jamie. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Some people do live in the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We do have to delete the Sir Alex Ferguson era to an extent where we need to think about where we are realistically. We're nowhere near where we need to be. But those are the levels that we aspire to be. And those are the levels that we should always aspire to be. Because Alex Ferguson, no Alex Ferguson, the standards have been poor, and we have been poor for the last 4 games, and we have been lucky. We are very lucky we're not down to 10th right now. If it wasn't to VAR or a last-minute goal, a couple of times, it's been poor. And you can draw games, you can lose games, but there is a certain way of playing, and there's a certain way of looking at the game after the game and saying, well, we were unlucky there. We were unlucky there. We should have won that game, and blah, blah, blah. I have taekwondo in Masafa at 1 p.m. I have no desire to go back to the UK. The UAE did a great job intercepting missiles. My cousin's in Doha, and we had 10 times missiles. We've had more than anyone else, Mark. More than anyone else. And we've had, yeah, if I speak, I'm in trouble. But what I would say is that, yeah, I would congratulate the UAE for everything that they've done. Absolutely. And they've looked after us. If I was in the UK, if the same thing was happening, God forbid, probably wouldn't be here, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? And, they have done a very good job. And, they don't deserve what's happening at the moment. They don't. They've done nothing but accommodating to me, my wife, everyone, at the end of the day. And looked after me, put me in safety. When my wife had a health scare last year, they looked after my wife, me. Every time I walk into the hospital, I book an appointment in the morning. I have my operation in the afternoon. And that is what it is over here, guys. At the end of the day, look, you can't please everyone in life. In life, unfortunately, we live in a world where you're always going to have to upset somebody. And this is the problem. Do you know what I mean? And this is the levels that we get. But one thing's for certain. We're not going to get anywhere without a little bit of unity and about understanding who the true issues are and understanding where the true problems are. And if we don't counter the true problems, we're going to be in a repetitive cycle against each other. Kindness is the biggest thing in life. Being kind is the biggest thing in life. The kindness. It's the most treasured and underrated human skill, at the end of the day. Marcus, trust, brother. Tens of us those of us in Canada are keeping a close eye on all your situation, shelter in place all day long, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marcus. I really appreciate you, my guy. Oh shit, Sal. I hope you are doing good, man. Hope you're on the men soon. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Mark. It's just a minor thing. On a positive note, we are still in third, but we are need up a few levels to keep us third. Absolutely. Hopefully, the last few days will help us regroup and evaluate this. Absolutely. Real life gets in the way of football sometimes, Sal. Stay strong. I know you will, but it has to be, it had to be said. Thank you so much, Marcus. Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, after this, I don't think my view of things will be quite the same as I had before, and I will have a lot of views. Can't obviously say a lot here, but I will after that, of course. Absolutely. Thank you so much, United Choir Ground. You're an absolute legend. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you. I really appreciate everyone who comes on the stream who says some kind words, of course. Guys, thank you so much. You're absolute legends. Take it easy. I really appreciate you all. I will keep you updated with everything, of course. Soon come more streams and stuff like that. Hopefully everything will be okay, and I wish everyone well, guys. Absolutely. Wherever you are in the world, guys. Guys, don't forget to smash a like. Let's get up to 50 likes if we can do that. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. I'm Sal, and this is Breaking Dawn. See you soon, guys. Take it easy. Peace.